Hello everyone. Today we're going to study about gross income. Before we get to gross income, let's go over briefly what we covered last time. It was 1040 structure. 1040 structure is basically what the form that we use to file individual tax return, and these the the forms that we have on your slide. Try to be very familiar with, and the top item, number one item, which is gross income, and that's what we're gonna go over today. And let's talk about it. So what is basically gross income? Gross income is any compensations for services you provided, you know, in forms of and fees and commissions or any similar items. Let's say you provide certain services and you get paid, like money, could be cash or commissions, or let's say you got something else like any physical items or whatever. Can be any so anything can be compensation. And number one, like a salary or wages, are the gross income. Salaries is a term that we use. Let's say if you get paid like annually, if you're yearly salary based employee, that we use the term salary. And if you're like hourly based employee, we call it like wages. Pretty much the same thing. It could be so salary, wages, they both compensations. And tip. Let's say if you earn more than $20 in a certain date, that can be considered earning for next month. But if you earn less than $20 as a tip, can be considered as current month earning. And third item is interest income. Let's say you have a savings in your bank and you get monthly or quarterly get paid back as interest income. Can be your gross income, and you have to file that for your tax return. But there are certain interest income that are tax exempt. For instance, state bond, or interest income from municipal bond, or from state private activity bond, or interest income from like U.S. savings bond. There are a couple different types for U.S. savings bond, but not all types from U.S. savings bond is tax exempt. Only the EE type of U.S. savings bond is tax exempt interest income. So what is EE type U.S. savings bond? Pretty much U.S. savings bond that are issued after December 1989, and the bond purchaser should be a sole owner or joint owner with spouse, and the person should be age of 24 or older, and that interest income must be used for higher education purposes, such as like tuitions. And interest income from U.S. petition bond is also tax exempt interest income. And number four, dividend income. Let's say you have a stock, and at the end of every year, the you get paid from whatever number of stocks that you have in some company. That could be a dividend income. That dividend income is also a gross income. And state tax refunds. Let's say you file tax and you get something, money return from the government, which is, call it tax, state tax refunds. But not all state tax refunds is gross income. Let's say if you apply itemized deduction for your previous year's tax return, then and you get state tax refunds, that's taxable income. But if you apply standard deduction for your previous year tax files, and the state tax refunds will be non-taxable income. So make sure, let's say, make sure what deduction you use for your tax filing, and make sure that tax refund can be taxable or not taxable, depends on what type of deduction method that you used. And number 6, alimony. Alimony. Let's say if a couple they go into divorce, then there's most likely alimony got kind of result alimony kind of get resulted. In order to be qualified to receive alimony, um, the alimony must be paid in cash, or paid directly to spouse, or and alimony terminates on death of that person, the receiver, or remarriage of the receiver. And whoever pays the alimony payer can deduct the alimony amount as a above the line deduction, but alimony receiver has to file tax return as gross income. So alimony is gross income. And there's number 7, which is non-taxable alimony. Let's say if you get alimony in lump sum in one shot, in one payment, then that's non-taxable alimony. And so this is pretty much we covered for today's class. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me, then I'll try to get back to you in timely manner. Thank you, everybody.